Inside the Johns Hopkins Medical Center in Baltimore, the keys to understanding Lyme disease and possibly curing it are in deep freeze.
In here we have samples of these are blood cells from our patients.
At the Lyme Disease Research Center, these vials are everything.
We have over 40,000 blood samples in our freezer, and so these blood samples are the precious material that researchers need to develop better diagnostic tests, to develop prognostic tests, to understand what's causing these lingering chronic symptoms.
A primary focus of research is people like New Yorker Dana Parrish.
I had no knowledge of what could really happen if you had a severe case of Lyme.
Did you do it from the top?
The singer-songwriter who's written hits for Idina Menzel and Celine Dion nearly lost everything to Lyme disease. Her nightmare began in 2014 after a trip to Long Beach Island when she saw a bullseye rash and raced to the doctor.
They said, "You're right, it's Lyme. Don't worry," and thought I'd be fine. They said I'd be fine.
Within a few months, despite taking antibiotics, everything got worse.
Horrible anxiety, panic attacks, depression, insomnia, hallucinations before I went to bed, profound muscle weakness, joint pain, heart failure, my most horrifying symptom.
The list goes on, as it can with what the Centers for Disease Control calls post-treatment Lyme disease syndrome. Parrish is not part of the Johns Hopkins study, but hundreds who've had similar problems are.
Patients can have chronic symptoms for years or even decades.
Start counting cells like this.
Finding out why is the mission. Doctors say early evidence is pointing towards issues with the immune system.
That's really intriguing to us because if their symptoms are being driven by an immune reaction, there are lots of ways that we have now to control immune responses. It's got our antennae way up.
Unlocking mysteries of the immune system could help resolve the battle over chronic Lyme, which many doctors and the CDC say doesn't exist.
I think the debate in the community really comes down to our lack of knowledge, honestly. You know, if we had the research results available to actually understand the causation of those chronic symptoms, then I think the debate would kind of go away.
Much of the debate over chronic Lyme would also go away with better testing, also a focus of the center.
The diagnostic tests for Lyme disease definitely need to be improved. Right now, the currently commonly available diagnostic test is an antibody test. You're not looking at the actual infectious bacteria, you're looking at the immune system response to the bacteria.
Being able to spot the Lyme bacteria long after a tick bite is the Holy Grail.
Let's just say you could find it in their blood 4 years later. Could it then be deemed chronic?
That would be a remarkable discovery, and so far that's been elusive.
For people like Dana, who's nearly recovered and back to singing, the work at Johns Hopkins is vital. But she says Lyme patients can't wait for science to save them.
You can get better, but you have to find a Lyme literate doctor, and you have to listen to yourself. Listen to your heart. Be persistent. Ask questions. Don't be afraid of doctor. I'll never stop looking over my shoulder until there's a cure.
Doctors here believe a cure will one day be possible, and they hope these blood samples will be the key.
They can stay at this state for decades. They will outlive us. These samples can be archived for years and years for studies down the road, studies maybe we haven't even imagined being able to do yet.